The WNBA handed a Jordan-level face of their league and spit in her face.
Caitlin Clark's takeover of the sports marketing world didn't start with that huge Nike Super Bowl-style commercial that broke the internet. It actually started way quieter.
That people bought lower bowl tickets weeks before for an average of $393, but on the resale market, they fell to $20.
Months earlier, when most people still saw her as just a college star at Iowa, she slid into a State Farm ad that nobody expected would flip the whole women's sports game.
And it just goes to show that all of us who have been speaking out about this and saying, like, it doesn't seem like you guys are giving Caitlin, the kind of props that she deserves.
At that time, she wasn't yet this global name trending every week.
For bringing all these eyeballs and, the Caitlin Clark effect that we talk about, viewership, money, all of those things. All of the people who were shouting this for the entire WNBA season.
But the second that commercial aired, something felt different.
Yes. I mean, I think share isn't the right way to look at it because there's so much more revenue in the NBA. I think you should look at it in absolute numbers in terms of what they're making.
Caitlin didn't look like a nervous college kid reading lines. She looked like she'd been shooting national ads for a decade. Her timing was clean, her presence was natural, and the camera loved her in a way brands noticed instantly.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
The numbers didn't just go up, they went crazy.
This is before the playoffs, but obviously the regular season views way up, and no surprise, these were the most viewed games last year, 14 to the 16.
That one State Farm spot ended up outperforming full-on marketing pushes that some leagues did for entire final series.
They say Nike released and sells out WNBA star Caitlin Clark's shoes, version of Kobe Bryant sneakers.
That's when every big brand watching had the same realization. Caitlin Clark wasn't just an athlete you put in a commercial. She was the commercial.
Well, Caitlin Clark's newest sponsor is getting ahead of the game. She has signed with financial services company Gainbridge.
From that moment, the biggest companies in sports started moving in silence behind the scenes. Nike, Gatorade, Wilson, pro leagues, and broadcast networks. Everybody was asking the same thing in boardrooms. How do we get her first? And while her fame was rocketing, Nike suddenly found itself in the middle of some pushback. Fans and women's sports advocates started calling them out online, saying Nike loved to talk about supporting women and girls in sports, but didn't always show up when it really mattered. Those viral Dear Nike posts started circulating, basically saying, stop talking about women and start standing with them. The pressure built up fast. People wanted to see if Nike would move or stay quiet. Their answer? A commercial so sharp, so emotional, and so perfectly timed that it didn't just respond to the criticism, it shut a lot of it down on the spot. The new Nike x Caitlin Clark ad wasn't just another promo, it was a statement. It opens in silence, no music, no hype, just a dark locker room and Caitlin sitting with her head down. Then she slowly lifts her head and opens one eye, and that single shot sent the internet straight into detective mode. At first, fans thought they were seeing some kind of snake-like eye effect, like a CGI reptile iris glowing under the shadows. People started zooming in, frame-by-frame edits, HD screenshots, the whole breakdown treatment, and then they caught it. It wasn't a snake eye at all. Inside her pupil, they'd hidden the Kobe Bryant Black Mamba logo, subtly blended into the design like an Easter egg for hoop heads. That tiny detail turned into a symbolic handoff. Kobe, the ultimate competitor, passing the mentality to a new generation through Caitlin. One frame turned into wallpapers, edits, fan art, conspiracy threads, and comments like, "This is the hardest shot Nike's done in years," and "She's not the future, she's the present." Nike didn't just feature her, they crowned her, and that was all in the first 10 seconds. After that, the ad switched into full big game mode. Caitlin appears alongside Aja Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Sha'Carri Richardson, Jordan Chiles, and other elite women who've become faces of dominance in their lanes. The vibe wasn't soft or cheesy, it was defiant. This directly to every doubt women hear growing up. You'll be told you can't do it, so do it anyway. You'll be told you can't win, so win. Shot after shot, the message stays the same. You can't break records, so go break them. You can't stand out, so stand out anyway. You can't lead, so lead. It's basically Nike turning every negative phrase women athletes hear into a dare to prove everybody wrong. The timing of the ad made it hit even harder. It dropped exactly when people were asking if Nike really stood with female athletes. And while every athlete in the commercial made an impact, the internet reaction made one thing obvious. Caitlyn's scenes felt like the main character moments. Viewers weren't just talking about the ad, they were talking about her. Views exploded. Tens of millions across platforms, reaction videos, breakdowns, TikToks, edits, watch parties, highlight mixes with the ad audio on top. Research firms ranked it as one of the top emotional and cultural impact ads of the whole event, and most of that spike was driven by Caitlyn's presence. And here's what people sometimes miss. The Nike spot wasn't the start. It was just one part of a bigger pattern. Caitlyn had already turned into a walking marketing machine for every brand that managed to sign her early. Gatorade ran campaigns around her that didn't just perform well, the limited edition bottles and towels tied to her sold out in days. Wilson released special edition basketballs with her initials and design touches, and those balls immediately turned into collectibles, getting resold, displayed, and flexed on social media like sneakers. Even her logo, just the clean double C, had people divided at first. Some said it looked too simple, but that's exactly why it works. It's flexible, it scales, you can throw it on hoodies, tees, courts, bags, and it always reads sharp. Over time, it turned into one of the most requested marks for fan-made graphics, posters, and custom gear. Kids started showing up to school with Caitlyn-branded Gatorade bottles, showing off Wilson balls with her signature designs, and asking for her drops like people used to ask for certain NBA players. If you checked online, you'd see the pattern. Every brand she touched saw spikes in views, clicks, searches, and more importantly, actual purchases. That's what marketers call conversion, and Caitlyn is elite at it. It's not just eyes on the screen, it's wallets opening and fans buying. Jerseys, drinks, balls, and soon shoes. Brands look at that and don't see hype. They see reliable revenue. If you're into how all this off-court power works, hit subscribe now so you don't miss the next breakdown. This side of the game is where the real moves are made. Go read the comments on that Nike ad and you'll see just how deep it hit. You've got people saying this is the first WNBA-related commercial they've ever watched all the way through. Others saying it's the first time they bought a W jersey, or that Caitlyn was the reason they finally tuned into a Fever game or checked WNBA highlights. Some even say it straight up, I'm watching the WNBA now because of Caitlyn Clark. That's exactly what brands dream of, someone who can turn non-fans into paying fans with just one campaign. Meanwhile, the WNBA itself is in a weird position. Because while Nike, Gatorade, Wilson, the LPGA, and other partners are running full speed with her, the league sometimes feels like it's playing catch-up. It's almost like the league isn't pulling Caitlyn up, she's pulling the league up with her. Right now, whether anyone likes it or not, Caitlyn Clark is bigger than the WNBA brand, and companies are treating her accordingly. The league's logo might be on the court, but her name is what's pulling in casual viewers, international attention, and sponsor interest that wasn't there years ago. The wildest part? A lot of people aren't discovering her through basketball first. They're discovering her through commercials. A Nike ad, a State Farm spot, a Gatorade campaign, a Wilson promo. Then they go, wait, where does she play? And then they find the Fever and the WNBA. Middle school hoopers are asking their parents for a Caitlyn Clark ball. College students are searching Caitlyn Clark shoe release date like it's a Jordan drop. Brands aren't just advertising with her, they're literally shaping culture around her. That's something the W has never fully pulled off by itself for any star, no matter how talented. That kind of crossover momentum, where the marketing pulls people into the sport instead of the sport pulling them into the marketing. What stunned a lot of people in the industry is how relaxed she looks in all this. She doesn't come off stiff, overcoached, or robotic. She looks like she belongs in those spots just as much as she belongs pulling from the logo in a packed arena. That I'm not phased vibe she has on the floor shows up on camera too. That's what brands love. Reach plus authenticity. Anybody can be famous. Not everybody looks natural when the lights and cameras are all on them. Caitlyn does, and that's why brands line up, and why they keep coming back. Nike centering the campaign around Do It Anyway wasn't random, it fits her story perfectly. She's the one who pulled up from way beyond the line when people still acted like women shouldn't be bombing from that deep. She's the one who filled college arenas that used to be half empty. She's the one who pushed TV ratings numbers nobody thought were possible for women's hoops. Now she's the one carrying a whole league's visibility in her rookie years while still figuring out the pro game. The ad didn't just show her talent, it showed her mindset, ambition, defiance, and standards set sky high. And it's not just hoop brands getting involved. The LPGA saw what time it was and moved smart. They didn't just sneak her into a golf event, they built around around her. They paired her with their top star, put cameras everywhere, opened fan access, and turned a simple crossover appearance into a full-on sports moment. Clips of her signing autographs for kids, her joking with golfers, her taking swings, and people treating it like Tiger just walked on the tee. It all went viral. The LPGA treated her like the superstar she is, and the reaction matched that energy. So you see the pattern. Nike embraced Caitlyn, Gatorade embraced Caitlyn, Wilson embraced Caitlyn, LPGA embraced Caitlyn. Major brands are sprinting toward her. Meanwhile, the league she plays in sometimes feels like it's being dragged into this new era instead of leading it. At this point, ignoring her or trying to downplay her shine isn't just a bad look, it's bad business. Every viral clip, every sold-out product, every crossover moment says the same thing. The market has picked its centerpiece, and that centerpiece is Caitlin Clark. Her next shoe release is going to be crazy. Those sales are almost guaranteed to break records for women's basketball kicks. Her next major ad will probably trend the same day it drops. And any brand that signs her now isn't just making a deal, they're making a statement. We're betting on where the culture is actually going. This is what happens when an athlete stops being just a player and becomes a full-on brand and movement at the same time. She's not just boosting viewership, she's shifting what people expect women's sports to look and feel like. If you're still reading and you want the next chapter, like when that first full signature shoe hits, who lands her next big deal, and how other stars respond, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay locked in. Every new Caitlin Clark campaign isn't just an ad. It's another sign that her rise isn't slowing down, it's speeding up.